and bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so. Oh, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland, with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom, in freedom, peace and unity. Arise, my people, arise, my people.
Please see.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and there are no ladies, so clearly. Thank you for joining us today. Let me just share the link to this matter in America where it seems to be, trying to buy. I don't know why you call it buying voters. I think this has been democracy, as we know it. So that is Elon Musk there.
They play betting game very well. Yes.
Somebody is echoing. Okay. So he appears to be looking to donate $1 million to voters. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Can anyone we can see it.
Yeah, so he was looking to give $1 million to each voter in Pennsylvania, not everywhere, in one of the key states, every day till the election. And it looks like some people are saying it's illegal now, but something tells me that it is quite legal. In America, money changes hands all the time in politics. The Democratic candidate raised over $1 billion now, and she's in the post, even with all that money, it's not helping that much. So and in the context of Nigeria, the way money is involved in politics is also damaging the politics. In the case of, I know that somebody in Edo said, yes, the voters voted, but the voters were bought. So, or the election officials were bought to rig the listing. That's the ones that are at the polling units, not even like the kind of rigging where you say people carry ballot box or anything like that. So, what does that mean? Does that mean that that it has to be a system where winner takes it all? The ones that have money can decide how the politics work, or do we do it in such a way that governments fund elections based on some other criteria? I don't know what criteria that would be, so that money doesn't corrupt the outcomes of politics. Especially the masses don't have a lot of that resources, so how do they compete with billionaires? You could also argue that the masses can decide to contribute to a candidate directly, so that the billionaires don't overwhelm them. So it's a very intricate point of view. So I don't know who wants to start. I think Chim is first. He came in alongside. We'll just do round and then come down to tone at the base. All right, Chim, please go ahead. What do you think about this $1 million giveaway and how it affects us?
Okay, thank you for having me. I haven't really understood that news very well. I'll be honest with you, I haven't. But the truth about the matter is, I don't think money can be in a presidential democratic system that the issue of money bags and all that will ever be thrown away. Actually, it keeps getting worse by the day because ask when they say a Republican or a Democrat or even in Nigeria, as it were, raised. I mean, they are even more open about it. They will tell you, oh, the Democrats has just raised 1 billion. Money raised last month was 1 billion and all that and all that. They are even open about it. But my question I keep asking is, what is this money used for? Is it money used to run the campaign in the sense of the candidate traveling from funding her travels or his travels, as the case may be? Or do they use the money to buy pure water and water for people who are going to, vote on that day? Because there's another thing I haven't understood about these elections. You hear them when they say, oh, they are pushing to get out the vote. What are you getting out to vote? Do you need to go and knock on anybody's door? You hear things like door knocking. What are you
Yeah.
knocking on my door for? I'm a voter. I know I should vote on a specific day. Allow me on that day. I'll go and vote. Why do you have to come and knock on my door to get me to vote? So I think you see this thing called American democracy is a scam. There's a lot of wayo in it, but hey, they are very good at branding their thing as good. Perhaps that's what we need to start learning from them, how to brand our own as good. In our own case, we don't necessarily raise funds for our candidates, although it happened in the last election for the Labour Party. Most of the candidates who run for election in Nigeria, you see that you have money by yourself to fund your campaign or you don't. And you see that those who usually have the money are the ones who always win the election. I haven't seen any candidate in Nigeria's election who didn't win, who was the one who outspent the other candidate. So I don't really think we can rule it out. It's something that has come to stay. But the good thing on that their own end is that there are multiple layers. For instance, there's nothing like INEC in the US. Elections in the US are run by the states. Each state has their own system, and our brother here who lives in the US can confirm that. So it's not like you have one Mahmoud Abbas or Mahmoud. What's his name? Mahmoud. What's the INEC man's name again, please? Mahmoud.
He's Mahmoud. We don't know. I don't think we know the
Oh, that one. Okay.
the
So
second side of it.
there's no Mahmoud anywhere that is going to Mahmoud anything. That's the only difference in their own election, and which it has. I don't know. Maybe it has their gains or not, but I doubt we can remove money from presidential elective system. I doubt it.
Does anyone know the background of Elon Musk? Because they are saying his father pillaged African country. I've never heard that before. Yeah, Alaba, what do you think about money? Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, money has always been involved in politics in American democracy. The lobbies, the companies, the corporations, they all have interest on which candidates they support, who is going to lobby for the best laws for them in the Senate, which laws favors their cooperation. And they're both intermingled, big money and democratic politics. But the US is a country that regulates things. They do have finance reform enacted into their law that kind of regulates how much money can flow to each political party, how much money can go into campaign, how much money can influence, and what is undue influence. But the influence is still there. And so the way most parties counteract corporations' money is to do basic fundraising directly with the people. I think the Democrats are good with that. I get a lot of tons of text messages from the Kamala campaign and Kamala and Watt's campaign. And then the Republicans just basically depends on all these corporations, all these big pharmaceutical companies, motor vehicle companies, any industry. They've always have an influence on the financing election, but it's not a free for all. It is regulated, and one slight violation of the law, Elon Musk will find himself in trouble. So whatever he's doing will be within the legal frame allowed by law. So he can use his money to mobilize, to get people registered. All these NGOs that are in the United States do that also. All these non-governmental organizations and all these people who are campaigning these, even Obama himself was a part of those type of mobilization. This type of things cost money. People have to fund them. But whatever he's doing, I bet you he wouldn't break federal law, because there will be a red flag and somebody will be held accountable. The US doesn't play. Even if it's Trump himself that breaks the law of finance reform, they will be held accountable. So all these things and how this money collected afterwards are spent are also under strict regulations. There's a lot of local, we call them aldermen here in Chicago, who have gone to jail for touching money raised during political campaign. In fact, the son of Jesse Jackson, his son, who would have been an aspiring political figure in Chicago as a mayor, if not a governor, him and his wife had to go to jail because he touched money raised for campaign. He touched it to buy a wristwatch and things like that. So the US have pretty good regulatory laws that needs to be complied with. But you can't discard the influence of money and politics in US election. They go hand in hand. So it's go do your campaign, go mobilize, go raise your fund, but you have to do it within the law, within allowable laws. And whatever Musk is doing will be within the law. There's a limit to which he can spend that is specified for each corporation, each millionaire, and each party. There's a limit to which they can pay. I think registering people doesn't even fall under campaign finance, because it's just using his money to mobilize people to, hey, register. He just hire a few people. They will be on the street with their paper and get people registered, get them to vote in the next election. Just basic mobilization. I don't think it's an issue for discussion that deep. And that's all I have to say on that.
Thank you. If not now, please go ahead. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me once again. I don't really think that everything should be we should be criticizing everything. This is something like Alaba said, I wouldn't ordinarily have much to say on this, because I believe that it's not like a free for for us something. There are regulations that guides all those things, and whatever Elon Musk is doing, definitely it must be within the law. I don't think it's not in here. I don't think it's something that one party can use as an advantage over the other party. You understand? So it's something that the rule applies to everybody, and all the parties obey the rule. And whoever did not obey the rule at the end of the day will still have to face the law. Was this former congressman from New York that left the seat was it last year, KJ, or early this year? Santos. He had issues with campaign fund at the end of the day, and
Early this year.
yeah, it was part of the reason why he had to leave the Congress. So you don't bring it. It's not the same way with the way Nigeria do their own. Don't bring it. It's not the same way with when Nigeria.
Oh, are you done? Okay. Masca, please go ahead. This. Do you think that we should start, because this money being involved in politics could be a problem? Do you think we should be doing public funding of candidates so that we can take money out of politics, because it's damaging the American Masca?
Okay, thank you, forefathers. Yes, I truly believe that money is a problem, especially in Nigerian politics. But of course, we cannot wish money away in modern day life. If you go to the toilet, it's money. If you're going to drink pure water, it's money. If you want to go to the church, you need money. So everything it's money. So we cannot wish money away. But having said that, the reality is that money is actually what the Nigerian politicians are using to actually keep us where we are, unfortunately. It's not even, I'm not too worried about buying votes. What I know, what I believe, my conviction is that the day we see a very credible candidate, the Nigerian masses, I always insist, are politically savvy. When they see a genuine candidate, they will vote massively for him. The bigger challenge we have in Nigeria is the intra-party politics. So you have delegates. What you can see is that a governor, say from my state, for instance, will put together all the delegates in one place and insist that this is the person they will vote when they go to the convention of that political party. And once they do that, there's a certain agreed amount that each delegate would take home. So you find out that at the end of the day, the real challenge we have sometimes or most times in Nigeria is that the wrong candidates get to be the party bearers, the flag bearers. And credible candidates, you find they are always relegated to smaller parties. And whether we like it or not, Nigeria being a massive country, if you are a small political party, your ability to be able to garner the required votes will be very, very much difficult. So yes, I agree that there has to be some reform in terms of, for me, we should start with intra-party politics, especially during the conventions. I've seen it, EFCC is always going to these conventions. But again, my resting point for Nigeria's problem is that there are deeper fundamental problems. Our institutions are failed institutions. So even if you do the reform, you need somebody to enforce. Enforcement in Nigeria is almost near zero. So we can have these discussions, but at the end of the day, the most important aspect that even if the government listen to us and agree to us and put the law we are suggesting here on this platform, the question is who is going to implement this law? Who is going to enforce it at that point? That for me is where the real issues are. So most of the discussions, even the elections, are really just a charade, because in the end, what are the institutions that will enforce? See, even most of these governments, they come out with policy. The problem is that the enforcement of the policy, the implementation of the thing, you give a contract to do road, the money will be worked, the road will not be built. So it's a difficult problem discussing Nigeria, just to even discuss it, not to solve the problem. But we will not rest. We'll continue. I believe money should be dealt with, especially in intra-politics, inter-party politics, inside the party. Money should, the way they use money to become the flag bearers, I think it's one of the biggest challenges. If we present to Nigerians credible candidates from parties, Nigerians will vote these people. Forget about all this hunger that people are talking about. People have shown that they will vote. Peter Obi gathered all the votes he voted. I'm sure he didn't give money. Buhari got the votes he got several times, even in a small party, because Nigerians know that if this guy is credible, I will vote for him. But the thing we need to look for is a credible candidate in a credible party. I raise my case there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Jonaba, please go ahead. Thank you for your patience.
All right.
Jonaba, I thought it was my turn.
What? Who is talking?
He just came in.
Who else will be talking? Is it not my turn?
Sorry, he just came in now. I don't know. Were you here before?
Well, I was.
Were you? I don't. Did we see what man went to more here? Except you guys,
let him go.
Let him have his say.
No, one man just came up. I came here
Yeah,
before
if you
one
want
man
to
now.
go, let him go. I need my time.
No. All right. What were you talking about?
I came before one man.
No, he said he's yielding his time for me. So if you don't object. If you do object, then I'll just yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
As a senior brother.
This is the thing. They said you made a sensible comment once upon a time. I was disputing that, so I was right to dispute it. But well, are you talking about money in politics? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Elon Musk is giving away $1 million every day to Pennsylvania registered voters.
Right, and then we're using that to test case to the Nigerian example.
Yeah, because Jefferson did say that in Edo State, that's exactly what happened. They gave money to voters, and they voted for.
I don't think you can ever exclude the role of money in politics. Money is an integral part of politics. So you cannot remove the. And I heard somebody talking about credibility and all that. So I'm not quite sure what that means, But money is an integral part of politics.
Well, has it always been like that? $1 billion.
There was never a point in, before the 2015 elections thereabout, the Financial Times of London did a piece on Nigeria, and they put the price tag on the Nigerian presidency. This was before Buhari came in 2015. They put the price tag on the Nigerian presidency at $2.1 billion. So that's how much it cost. And they're not even talking about rigging alone. The logistics, the advertising, the sensitizing, the staffing, all of those things. It's not a poor man's game, and it's not even, so forget. And money plays a role, and they're talking about credibility. Everybody is credible to some degree. If we wanted credibility, we would have voted for Sowore. So anything outside of, the Sowore figures, you say they are written figures. You may say that, you may not. But that last election, the 2023, it was the most hard-fought election. So there was no votes going spare. And the votes that Sowore got is somewhat of a fair reflection of where his politics was. So that is to tell you then that and Sowore, Sowore covered every single local government in that election. He was the only one that did it. We saw him on a road in some northern outpost, coming across a Fulani headsman and doing an interview with him. That's how far he went. Nobody campaigned more than that guy. And I didn't even think he got, did he get 5 figures? So forget credibility. The Nigerian politics globally, it's all about money. In America, it's about money. We all see all of these vested interests throwing monies at all of these parties to leverage them whenever they come into government for their gains. And that's how it happens in Nigeria as well. So money is an integral part. There's no equivocation on that. So wow. how that money is used to influence the elections, maybe you say it's a bit rudimentary the way we do it in Nigeria, throwing monies at the starving populace, the hoi pollois and all that. But essentially, it's still the same narrative, isn't it? I saw a clip that somebody put out on social media during some election that Donald Trump was sending food to people. So I'm not quite sure, but yes, I will send you it if I find it. I'll send it to your DM. So and all this that Peter Obi of integrity and all that, he played money politics too. He played money politics too. We saw it. We saw the clips, and we heard the anecdote. So everybody plays money politics. So if you are playing money politics, then so if the person with the bigger wallet outplays you, you cannot complain because you are already meshed in that mire. So that's
are there any potential dangers you see? Because in most of these Western countries, like Switzerland, that is considered to be like socialist, the top 1% own more wealth than the bottom 90%. Is that not the danger of the system we are copying?
Well, that's the way of the world.
Sorry, one man. Did you say Switzerland is socialist?
Yeah, because they have a lot of socialist policies like Scandinavian nations do. They are regarded as being that way, but even
I think welfareist is the word they are looking for. I'm not sure you say that.
Well, I can agree with welfareist, but not socialist on Switzerland.
The welfareist is a socialist.
It's a mix,
kind of
a mix of
policy.
capitalism.
That's what it means.
The UK is welfareist.
Yes, and welfare is a socialist thing. It's not the capitalism doesn't care about welfare. This thing, welfare.
Forefathers, if I may,
Yeah,
please.
So sorry.
One
Sorry,
man just said about money politics. What's your definition of money politics, if I may ask?
Now I just described it now. I've just described the role that money plays in politics. The advertising, the logistics, the staffing, the vehicles, the aeroplanes, the
Okay,
bribes,
all right, okay.
including the bribes. So I think it's the bribes that you're looking for. That's embedded in it as
the
well.
bribes. Yeah.
So all of that is money politics. But thank you for having me, and thank you, John, for yielding your spot. I'll listen in the background. Thank
Thank
you.
you for joining us. Yeah, that's very, magnanimous of John Abba, and he hasn't said anything for a while. Can we allow him to say something for briefly?
Yeah, we will allow him. John Abba is not usually magnanimous, but we'll praise him for his magnanimity today.
Please go ahead, John Abba.
I think everybody have well said what money does in politics. It's not new, and the amount they have raised 1 billion before, so it's not new to the way it runs. I hope the world learn that money answers all things. It's not just a quote, but it's what we see as a reality. And Elon Musk is what they do is to sway it to their own interest. If the person that candidate that they want to win, maybe it's interest. And there are many ways to register voters. Some is just to get ID. I remember Michael Bloomberg, when he ran for president, he focused on Florida. The poor people there, some of them could not get ID. He spent millions trying to get them to get the right ID. So there are many ways to go about it and to influence your interest. So I can't wait for November 5th. Even before then, I will cast my vote in early election. And I don't invest so much into who is my candidate, who is not my candidate. I just vote, and whatever come out of it, we see it on November 5th. But I know that money play a major part in politics, and politics and religion is the same. If you don't have money, no matter how spiritual your anointing run like KJ, will be like KJ. He just, instead of putting his money under his pillow, he would travel from Atlanta to Houston, to so, which is a good thing. Whatever give him hope. And next time, stop by Dallas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tone, please go ahead, and Ed and Kenny. Tone, please go ahead.
Okay, so are we using Nigeria as a case study, or America, the Elon Musk story? What are we commenting on?
The idea is the money and politics, is also affects Nigeria, how they use money. Because is it corruption to be just giving people money now? It's open now. Before they do it in back scene where they will use it for advertisement and other things, but now they are just giving it to voters. Take, is that like bribery for election?
Well, I think there's a very gray line between bribery and say, okay, this is for you for coming all the way to cover your transportation and all that stuff. But as we all know, the world we live today, the wars we're experiencing today is all about money. The Nigerian Civil War that happened, it was all about arms. It was all about money. Everything now comes down to money. So, okay, in terms of Nigeria, coming back nearer home, there are no regulations like we have in America. Even in this country, the United Kingdom, we have big the very rich donating to either the Tory party or the Labour Party. It's all about money. But how do we regulate it in Nigeria? It's going to be very difficult. That's a phenomenon, I'm afraid, is going to continue. How do you regulate it? How will you? Is there going to be a law saying that when you give somebody money, you give somebody a bag of rice or 20 pounds? I'm sorry, how's now? 5,000 naira or 1,000 naira that they've committed an offense. It's not committed an offense. We said, listen, it's just a honorarium. I'm just giving him a honorarium. So he has not. He will tell you that he has not committed any offense. So it's all about regulation, and we're yet to mature to that place where we have a very
But Tony, isn't that
transparent.
inducement? Isn't that inducement?
Yes, you could argue, that can be argued, but then you could say that it's just okay. If someone has come all the way from and you say, okay, this is for your pure water and all that for food. You could say I give them money to buy food and refreshments. You have not committed any offense. So it's a very,
$1
like
million.
when I began with my statement, I said it's a gray line. There's a very, very thin and gray line between inducement and not being non-inducement or whatever way you want to put it. So it's a gray, but it's
But,
everything is
but
just
is it not
subject.
dangerous though in politics? Because you hear
It
about
is,
the trading lobby
of
all the
course,
time,
of
and
course it is, of
because
course
the
it
poor people
is.
don't have that access, to
Yeah,
resources to bribe like that.
yeah, of course it is. If okay, listen, if in England here, if you offer somebody even just £5, just show up in the polling
Mm.
unit and all that, a lot of people will grab that money. Loads of people will grab that money. That's just a human behavior. Let's just forget all these emotions, whether it's Emilio Con, whether it's Peter Obi and all that. It's just a human thing. People will grab that opportunity. Thank you.
With all these Nigerians in the UK these days, I won't be surprised I start seeing bag of rice start showing up before elections. But we can always live and watch what happens. Ed, thank you for joining us. What do you make about this effect of money in politics? The true dangers of this hasn't fully shown up in the West because they are superpowers. They have a lot of money. So, but the wealth is in the hands of the rich in the world, in the West. Like 1% owning as much as bottom 90%. That tells you how lopsided it is. But because the entire country is relatively okay, you don't see the divisions yet. And we are not at that level. And politics, there's a lot of money in Nigerian politics already. And if we carry on like this, all the problems we want to solve, it might actually lead to it somehow being circumvented. And I'm not sure. Maybe the poor people will have to find a way to
Fathers,
make
are you
their way
taking
in
my
politics
time?
too. Please go ahead, Ed.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And it's really good to see everybody here, especially my uncle, Uncle John Alba. I just realized you're in Dallas. I was in Texas just yesterday. I actually went to Austin. If I knew you're in Dallas, I should have come and eat some good Benue pounded yam. All right. So the topic, I think, Profitas, you've been saying a lot about $1 billion. I think that's the American PAC that Elon Musk is donating to, but um, with specific reference to what is happening in Pennsylvania, what Elon Musk is doing is to randomly give a Pennsylvania voter $1 million every day to the election for signing a petition to say they are to defend free speech and the right to bear arms. So
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
so that's basically what Elon Musk is sponsoring, the 1 million per day. So that comes to about 20 million. I don't know how many days before the election. Kenny should be able to give us more details. So that aside, again, you could say that that could influence the voter. But again, if you look at it from the point of view of how many voters that would influence, if any, it shouldn't be very significant. That's the point I'm trying to make. And again, I was reading an article where they were saying, I think there are some lawyers who are trying to like chime in on that issue to see whether it's legal or illegal. But as Alaba has rightly pointed out, American politics there's a lot of money involved. The only thing I would want to disagree with Alaba on was in trying to say that the Republicans are usually funded by corporate donations, whereas Democrats are funded by individual donations. I don't agree with that. In short, the Democrats actually get a lot of corporate donations, especially from big tech, a lot. Big tech, as in donations, are very skewed towards the Democrats. The Republicans are usually industries that are very regulated, because Republicans stand for lower regulations, especially when it comes to things like agriculture and the environment. So yeah, again, even the Republicans have individual donations, and you would remember very well how much Kamala was able to raise within a very short time. You think all of that is just individual donations? So yeah, it's on both sides. The only good thing is that there is some sort of regulation in terms of individual donations, corporate donations, and even donations by political action groups or PACs, and also how much you can receive from all of that. So even Donald Trump, the case he had in, was it New York, with the Stormy Daniels issue, it's still related to campaign donations, right? So he was accused of using campaign donations to sort out personal issues. So it's very regulated. That is not the case in Nigeria, except when they want to use it against the opponent. So for example, Peter Obi, I think he got a pledge of about $150 million from the diaspora in the last election. And then all of a sudden we realized that there was a law against raising money from the diaspora. And it's not like he's raising money from foreign nationals. He's raising money from Nigerians in the diaspora. So it will look like these laws are just hidden, and they are called upon when it's to be used against opponents. So again, in America, campaign donations, campaign financing is a very, very big issue. And in a way, I would want to, I really don't want to make this about Peter Obi. But I could say that for the first time in a while, we're able to see a political party or a political candidate publicly give a breakdown of his campaign financing. So that to an extent was one of the positives that I could see from the 2023 election. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, let me finish.
Oh no, I thought you had finished. Go ahead.
No, I've not finished. Now you already made me lose my train of thought. But yeah, Nigeria still has a lot to do when it comes to the campaign financing issue. It still boils down to how much voice you're giving the people. Because even in the West, with the regulations, there are still a lot of people who are calling for even stricter regulations when it comes to campaign financing. There are people, every election round, you hear about all these big names, the Koch brothers and all of that. People are really fighting to reduce money in American politics. I think that was one of the big platforms that Bernie Sanders actually had when he was campaigning during, was it the 2016 cycle, about reduced donations by corporate interests. So yeah. I think we still have a ways to go, but that's something that we should really consider in Nigeria. And besides, is there really any system that does not involve money, or in some ways this queuing of the people's interests? Because if you even go by maybe communism, you're actually allowed to vote for people who are propped up by the Communist Party. So elections are innately flawed, right?
Yeah.
The only thing we can do is to reduce how much the people's voice is being suppressed, whether it's by money or by the party's internal processes.
That's interesting. I don't know whether is the elections that are innately flawed, or the society is always tilted towards a group that are a form of elites. But I guess that's
that's a fair observation.
Yeah, Kulata is saying he wants 1 minute to just say something quickly before he leaves, and I don't know what the panelists think. Can
He just came.
Yeah, he knows. He says
he
1
just
minute.
came with covered face. We don't even know his identity. Can he just remove the dark distance?
Yeah.
He's in of course. Let's see him.
It depends.
Right.
Jagu was dressed almost like that a moment ago. But you don't need to be covering your face, Nakula. Your mouth.
No, I'm not covering my face.
Your mouth. You're covering your mouth like this.
I'm playing with my baby.
Right.
Let me quickly say what I got to say, so
1
I
minute
can bounce. Just 1 minute, cool. No problem. I mean, you guys are talking about money. Money is a speech issue. It's a freedom of speech issue. You can't. It's a feature. And at the same time, I have the right to be able to exercise my freedom of speech by donating. The only thing is, if you don't want money to become an influence, then you have to do what's it called? You have to opt for public financing, which everybody will pay in their tax dollars. That means you cannot take any money. Even in the United States, the so-called regulated is not regulated. We have a lot of super PACs. And those super PACs, if you remember, was it under Mitt Romney that a super PAC is treated like a corporation is treated almost like not like an individual or something. So I can't remember the exact details of the case, but bottom line is they have free speech rights and they can contribute. So you cannot take money away from politics. The only thing you can stop is voter inducement. And then you say, what is voter inducement? In the United States, you can be giving water. Like, you're not allowed to give free water because free water can be considered voter inducement. But in a society like Nigeria, where people are peace poor, I mean, God bless you if you can do anything about that, because people are going to sell their vote because they see it as the time they're getting anything back from these guys. So money is always going to be a feature. And then in terms of transparency, I heard someone say
1 minute is up.
Oh shit, what's that?
They say 1 minute is up.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
I'm gonna make my.
Okay, when you say inducement, water, but can't you? Is a kind of using campaign adverts and all the other machines?
No.
Of finance, not the form of inducement still.
No. You're selling yourself. If I give you water, am I trying to lead you on to vote for me because I give you water? You're not supposed to give me anything material.
You're selling yourself as being.
No. Ad is ad. Ad is you're just saying your ad, right? You're selling your plant. But if I give you water you're on the queue, you're thirsty, I give you water. Why are you giving me water? You're not supposed to give me anything. I'm just supposed to go there and vote and get the hell out. So that cannot be stopped in society like ours. If you want to be president, you better get the money. And in terms of transparency, I heard someone talk about transparency on the OB or whatever. No, that wasn't the case. The guy said he was going to prepare audited. I don't know if you're familiar with accounting and auditing, but just listing balances at the high level, calling that an audit, that's not close to what an audit is, if you know what an audit means. So Nigeria, we just need to accept it as a feature, not until we grow out of poverty before. Actually, even when we go out of poverty, the only way we can get money out of our politics is if we practice something like what China practices, and we have like a council of leadership, or we do the English style, which is closer to reducing the influence of money. Otherwise, if you're serious about winning an election, go get your money. All right. Thanks, guys.
Fathers, please, can I ask you a quick question? Colata, do you agree that whatever Peter Obi did...
He asked for permission. We have to allow Kene to give the
let me
permission.
I'm sorry.
so other people can talk.
I'm sorry. Whatever Peter Obi did, is it an improvement on what has been? Would you agree?
No, everybody. No, I disagree because most people do that already.
Like,
just follow all the parties. They will list. It's just a breakdown at the high level of statement of account, not an audit. You know, it's different to say an audit. An audit will show you all the traces. But
yeah, I understand that. No problem. All right.
So, all right, bye.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think some people are under the impression that we're selling people as slaves. Nobody said anybody as slaves here. They are just saying people should get off the stage because they are being rude. Somebody.
What father you did?
How did I sell anybody as slaves? Let's not bring emotive words into this.
It's my time, please. Please, I just want to be done. It's good night, please.
Yeah, I have a very good heart. Thank you for joining us, Master. We really appreciate it.
Somebody to move, please. I think
we're just bidding Master farewell. Thank you,
so
Master.
It's my time, please. Thank you. Finally, you know, Democrats, they often think that the world revolves around them. Whenever that they have their super PAC supporters funding their party, they feel on top of the world. And here you have a man that God brought out to restore this country. And then he seconded this man with another savior in person of Elon Musk. Elon Musk used to be with these people. They were not complaining until he lost his son to homosexuality. This is when this man said, no, enough is enough. We need to salvage this country. There must be sanity in this country. Remember, Elon Musk is a South African. He has some African, maybe blood or mentality in him. So he could not see his son turning to a girl. So when he starts speaking against them, a state like California began to make ridiculous laws that will squeeze him in California. You know, he has some of his businesses headquarters in California. This is when he started speaking up. Then California went ahead. Another thing that they did is that they made a ridiculous law preventing schools from informing parents that their children has changed gender. For example, somebody like Alaba, let's assume that Alaba is living in California and his son went to school. And then the school teachers induce him or talk to him or kind of encourage him to change his gender to a girl. And he eventually accepts the brainwash and change his gender to a girl. Now, coming back home, the school will not inform Alaba that his son has changed gender. They will even go to the school record and change his gender from being a boy to a girl. And even if Alaba finds out and begin to maybe try to punish his child or try to rape, the school is going to sue Alaba for that. So Elon Musk said, no, hell no. He has to use a sort of technology to inform the parents. California said no. He closed down his ex-headquarters in California and vacated California. Since then, it has been one punishment from Democrats to the other. Currently, the state of New York is also punishing him for taking sides, for joining Trump instead of supporting Democrats. Now, this man says if that is the case, then he has to do everything in his power to make sure that all of them are being kicked out of office. What is happening to California, to New York's governor today? He has been charged of criminal conspiracies. The mayor of California.
Mayor.
Yeah, even the governor. the governor and the mayor, all of them are thieves. They are being charged for criminal, charges, allegedly. So they are they are in court today because you see how God is exposing them. See, whether you like it or not, donation to political parties or campaign is very, very necessary. And that was why I was telling somebody like AY to get ready and begin to donate to Showore now, because when you go for campaign, you have to pay for the stadium. You have to pay for logistics. You need money for all these things. That is the reality. You cannot be the champion. You cannot be father of all. Everything must pass through you. Showore, you are the campaign manager. You are the financial secretary. You are everything. You are the treasurer. You are everything. You should become the donor too. Let's see. So, you see, in US, we have, what is his name? Elon Musk started off that park, and they need money to sustain it. And what he's doing is very, very legal. Don't forget that this guy worked with a team of legal experts. What he named it is a prize for the people of Pennsylvania to support. It's a sort of petition in support of the Constitution, which my brother here has said it. So it's not like inducing anybody to change their mind. No. He's just calling for the support of Constitution, which I think none of us will disagree with us here, that it is the right move in order for us to support the Constitution, because the Democrats, they are busy balkanizing the Constitution, just like the way you have it in third world country, where you have a candidate that did not pass through due process. Nobody elected her, but she was imposed on the Democrat now, and she's busy campaigning to be the president of the country without any election. No due process. That is what they are doing. And who knows what else they would do. And she's busy talking about inducement. She's busy promising Americans that she's going to give them $6,000 tax cut. She went to North Carolina the other day after Trump was busy calling them out for abandoning the people of North Carolina. Was it not the same Elon Musk that went there and gave them connect them to internet because their internet was off? He connected them to internet immediately, free of charge. Trump went there and made sure that they are connected back to electricity. While
is that not inducement?
No, there was a hurricane there. People, they don't have internet, they don't have their phone. Their phone wasn't even going through. You can't call them and get them on phone. Their electricity was cut off, everything. The presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, was busy drinking beer on the TV instead of going to, look after her.
Oh, come on now. Don't do that.
I'm telling you the truth now. She was busy on the TV drinking beer, exchanging beer presently on the TV. Then Donald Trump began to call them out that instead of her to go to North Carolina and rescue the people, she was busy drinking beer. That was when she now ran down to North Carolina and started promising them $750 monthly. And the people told her, we don't need your $750. You know what? You have been doling out money to Ukraine to kill themselves, buying, donating bombs and all that for people to buy themselves. You have been donating money to illegal immigrants in thousands of dollars. And why are you giving them $750? For what? So the people rejected her. Do you understand?
That's quite true, because all the money
so this is Democrats in their greed and jealousy, because Elon Musk has challenged them now. Now they will see that they don't have all those their noisemakers. Let them come and donate now. Let us see. So, and he will keep donating the $1 million until the day of election, November 5th. So it's not an inducement. It's not an incentive to change your mind. It is just calling for the support of the Constitution, which is the right thing to do.
Is Elon Musk not at risk of let's say Trump gets elected and Trump does catastrophically? He's at risk of damaging his entire business for what he is doing, because they could come at him because he really inserted himself. I've never seen any billionaire insert themselves into an election.
Elon Musk is building electric cars, right? But Trump already told him that, yes, electric car is good, but he prefer cars that run on gas than electric car. He already told him. So you already know that Trump will not be.
Elon Musk is not against cars that run on gas.
Hello.
He actually
Yeah, he's
has
not against
told,
that. I know.
he has told the Biden's government that they shouldn't
I
force
know.
people to switch to electric. That is not electric is not for everybody.
Yes, we're saying the same thing. So I'm just trying to help forefathers before you go astray.
Who's next then?
It's me, it's me. Don't say who is next.
Yeah, you know, double barrel now. Two Trump supporters. It's okay. Please go ahead.
No. See, you know, let's call a spade a spade. Not need to call it engagement.
Sorry, for by the way, man of prestige is coming for your head. Just take note.
I'm ready for him. I'm Prince too. I'm ready this night.
Okay, now here is the thing. I also want to dig down a little bit into what the two previous speakers have said, which is very correct. The pact which that money was given through is a super PAC organization, and they have no limit to which they can actually donate money to that cause. Now, before now, Elon Musk has given Donald Trump or donated Donald Trump's campaign $75 million, and that has been used. But here's the good thing about it comparing to Nigeria. All that money, the 1 billion that the Democrats have, and all the money that Trump have, the things the money will solve is already been specified. If you've been following the election analysis, you'll have seen that over $300 million was spent on advertisement just last week alone in Pennsylvania. So a lot of money, has gone into those campaign in that order, in the order of the I want to put that up before they say we fragilized by the audio. Now, a lot of money have gone into the media, into advertisement, into getting people transportation to go to knock on doors, into all those items. Now, Donald Trump, as at my last count, had over 200,000 poll watchers, which they were still people volunteering to register. All those people will need to get to their locations and back after watching the election. So all the money, whatever the money is going to do, is already specified. Nobody can do. There's no backcourt to it. Now, if you remember, also Joe Biden had raised $320 million before the coup took him out. So after that coup, the money that he had raised was now shifted to Kamala Harris. Now, if Kamala Harris wasn't going to run, that money would have remained in place because nobody can use it. So one of the reasons Democrats gave was that for them to use that money, instead of starting from afresh, it had to be somebody within that ticket that can use it. So that money was moved to her, and subsequently she has raised a lot of money with it. Earlier on, we heard that it's the Democrats that get the small people's money. No, it's the Republicans that have the small people's money, while the Democrats deal with the big techs and all that. Majority of the millionaires are on the Democrat side. Now, what's the difference between our Nigerian style? Nobody checks our own, just like also people have asserted here. Nobody checks our own. The laws are made, but nobody follows them up. Even when the people want to follow it up, they are handicapped. They can't be able to implement it. But here in America, they will implement it, especially if you're of the opposite or if you're from the opposing party. They will make sure that you pay every of that cover you have spent wrongly. And I think that's why the system still works. You cannot go to the people and collect money, then you take it and go and be buying a John Wayne coat, to wind up and down. You can't do that. If you do that, you pay for it, big time. You pay for it big time. So I think that's there. Sorry, I'm being distracted. So I give up. I stop here. Thank you.
Okay. Who's next? I think that's just about. Oh yeah. Chim. Yeah, go ahead, Chim.
Yeah, what I was going to say is just in support of the last comment that KJ meant about having an effective system that checks the activities of whether it is during campaigns or elect. For instance, let's take our legislators. Our legislators get what we refer to as constituency allowance, which is actually unconstitutional. You're supposed to attract a project to your constituency that will be if it's a construction, if it has to do with construction, will be constructed by either whatever the ministry or government department that is responsible for doing it. So, for instance, if you attract a road, if it is Ministry of Works, they will come and do it. Maybe they might do it through Julius Berger or any construction company. If it is a health facility, the Ministry of Health will go and cite that thing there. Whatever it is, the money should not be touching the hands of the senator or the member of the house. But we all know here that our senators collect constituency allowance to go and execute projects. I just got a video. I haven't validated how accurate, if all that the guy said in the video is true, but some of us may have seen it, where the senator from Kwara State called people and said he was going to give them laptops. These people lined up, they put laptop in front of them. Like they lined up like, like when you are in secondary school and you line up during, then they put laptop in front of them. One of the people who was making the video said the laptops were removed. As soon as they did the video, they packed up the laptop and took it away. But this guy has told the Senate that is his constituency project. He has collected money. In fact, he has even gotten in touch with the laptop manufacturer who probably even gave that laptop on a charity basis. So he hasn't spent any money. Nobody's going to check that man. He's going to go away with it. The video is in circulation, but like I said, I don't know how accurate that narrative is. But this is what happens every day. Last week, we were told how a senator from Abia State was executing a project in another constituency in Enugu State. I mean, I was even doubting it. It's all over the social media also. So I think the difference between what happens back home and in a place like America is that there are laws that will check you, even if it takes them 10 years to discover that you did an illegal thing. You will go in for it. Unlike on our own society where things just get swept under the carpet and it just evaporates into the thin air.
I think that is a fair point. I think because I think maybe that's the whole point, to ascertain the difference between our own and their own. But in the bigger scheme of things, you are gaining unfair, okay, depending on how you look at it, an unfair advantage over people that don't have money to have your way with the nation. And that is the issue people have, whether it's based on campaign funding. The system is already corrupted. They have this, what they call the round door phenomenon that goes on, where somebody will be working in the industry, then from the industry they go and work for the government, then from the government they go back to the industry. So the whole thing is serving them. And so from that point of view, how is that so different from what we are doing in Nigeria? It's just a more sanitized version of the same practice, where they have a kind of tilted the law to favor their practices. It's like the one we have in Nigeria being legalized, really. Then it should just be legalized, is the question you should be asking. So from that point of view, I hardly see much of a difference. Even if on paper it looks like they are different, they are not that different, really. So that said, anyway, I think everybody has had their say on this, except somebody wants to add anything more to it. We've already covered ground on this. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Otherwise, I will. And about this, let me make an announcement anyway for the channel. This stream from Dr. Damages will be moving to Iroko Post TV. That's the logo you see there on the top, depending on how you're watching it, on the top right hand side. It is going to be moving to Iroko TV in the new year. So when you hear, after you do your New Year celebration, you're not going to be seeing this live feed. Have Your Say is not going to be here. The interviews are not going to be here anymore. This channel is going to be for comedy only, that it was meant to be. and we're going to move to Iroko Post TV. So that is the public announcement regarding the change that is going to be happening in the new year. And also remember to like, share, and subscribe, and invite people to come and join the channel. So that is that. On a lighter note, the stuff that happened earlier on today, I guess there are a lot of spontaneous things that are happening recently. We had the Pidgin English session. I forgot, I did say that I was going to be trying to be speaking Pidgin English in every session. Then it turns out to be money business, where they are paying money to send people out of the stage. It's something I don't think it's something we should want to be repeating in any other session. It should be something restricted to a specific time and purpose. Let's say we know we want to raise money, we have an intention to do that, and we have a specific session, and we have people, if they misbehave, they get kicked out. If they don't misbehave, they stay in place. Because it's going to seem like we are a kind of, making people a little bit afraid of speaking their mind if they are afraid of getting kicked out. You see what I mean? So I don't think I didn't take permission from Dr. Damages to do this. So let it be clear, this is just happened spontaneously. But funny enough, though, Nigerians are wicked people. I sit here begging them every day to donate money to Dr. Damages. They didn't. Today, they spend almost £300 or more, $300 or more, kicking people out of the stage. Hey, Nigerians, you guys, you need to search your consciences. You go to church, God do. This kind of thing you are doing. When we beg you every Sunday to donate.
Father, sorry to interrupt you. How does this thing work? Like, you just pay somebody, you just pay to the platform, and then say you want someone kicked out?
Yeah.
Like,
they'll say, how much does it cost to kick you out in case you say something they don't like? And
Those are the witches and wizards that we have. Yeah.
I think we have super packs in the comment section.
They wanted to kick
but this is typical of us. Remember that a Nigerian will not give you money for any progressive thing, but he will come at a party and spray money to be seen to be spraying money. Don't forget that. He will not even put the money and say, let me give Kene or give forefather quietly. He would rather do it so that he can be seen. So
it's unbelievable, man. They shocked me.
That's what played out today.
Especially Kulata. To $2.
Out of control. The whole thing was getting out of control. And I've never, because I sit here begging them, Dr. Damages needs this money, he's using his own money and all the rest. They will say, oh, thank you, sorry, they will give you $2. But they're willing to spend $50.
I thought they pay on Ferrari being removed.
It was a sleep.
We really need to search our conscience. We need to have a conversation about it. Why is it we do these things we do? And this is Sunday. We go to church
because they don't want to hear the truth. Truth strike them like a hot knife.
See how they were donating money that Alabama must be kicked out. Like, why now?
Forefather, you shouldn't come up with this kind of a talk. I think you want to remain broke for the rest of your life. People can give their own money the way they choose to. I don't mean that they should silence anybody.
Next time, I will donate so that they will keep John Abba out.
The good thing, you don't have that money.
I will donate. I will go and borrow. Don't worry. I will go and borrow.
Jagun was insulting the woman.
What if I pay more to bring myself back?
The first time he was kicked out, he didn't do nothing.
I will go and borrow.
Don't worry. When you start, you will see her. I think it's interesting. I think once in a while that happens so that all those what do they call them? All those terrorists from UK that come terrorize this platform should go and stay quiet. Sometimes you guys are so brutal.
Any day you want to do it when you are starting your session.
Oh no!
Specify it as the rule.
Tope, don't start now. Tope, don't start. I don't want to encourage. So see, this thing. If not now, I wasn't even the one that paid for this thing to leave.
No, I said it happened spontaneously. And that's
Yes.
why I say he shouldn't have allowed it, because there was no level playing ground. He didn't announce it as the rule for that session. So any other time you want
I
to do
think
it,
it's
no,
good
any other time you
once
want to
in a
do it,
while. I
better
think
allow
it's
it to
good
be
to raise
happening
money like
spontaneously.
this once in a while. I think it's a
Oh,
good
really?
thing.
Do you have such session? I didn't know.
I think it's good
No,
once
Yeah.
in a
Kene,
while.
Oh,
what happened was that somebody
yes, sir.
randomly,
Was Kolata, yeah.
Kulata asked how much is it going to take to take Alaba out. So
Oh,
I thought it was a joke. I was just listening.
oh,
Then
okay.
Forefather didn't reply. Kulata now paid, was it $22?
Okay.
Then Forefather now
$20.
said
And I
make it
said
20,
$20
20
also.
pounds.
Yeah.
Then he paid in
And then he
$20.
just paid it.
$20. And they said
Oh,
$20 is not equivalent to 20 pounds. He then made it up again.
okay.
So they
Mm.
now
And
removed Alaba.
was Alaba kicked out?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. God bless Kulata.
You are not serious.
That is just pure
I'm
wickedness.
not
And
serious.
KJ was encouraging it. KJ was just dancing and
God
encouraging
bless
the
Kulata.
behavior.
As if that
Kulata is
was
a
not
good man.
enough. As if that was not
Jesus.
enough. Another person
Hmm.
now paid money for
I
Jagu to
told
be
you that
removed.
it's a game of interest.
For Jagun, for
Now
Jagun
that you
To
again,
be
shoot
removed. And he was removed.
Kene, I say
and they kick
God
him out.
bless
And they kicked him out.
you see, it's a
I
game of
miss,
interest.
I miss a lot today.
He
Oh.
missed though. He missed though. I would
Uh,
have gladly
God
paid
bless
money
these
for
people.
him to be removed.
I've never seen anything like that. Jagun came back and was instead of it to know, he started insulting the person that kicked him out. And
No,
they
the
paid
person now
bigger
put
money to kick
the
him out
person
in
now,
again.
the
Again.
person kicked him out with
Yes, they
$50
kicked him out
before.
again.
$50 before. Then
$200,
when Jagu came
$200
back,
to kick him
Jagu
out
Oh,
was
yeah.
again.
angry. The person now paid
The whole thing got out of
$200 for him to be
control.
kicked out.
We have
Yeah.
to be careful with that kind of. You see, but
Angels,
Nigerians,
angels came today. Oh.
I'm sure
God bless
the
them.
guy would have put even
they
1,000
started
against if
and begging
somebody
them.
told Jagu again. She would have put 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the
I
truth of
think
the situation now.
forefathers. In honest, I don't think
Now,
you should talk
now
about
you guys are making me to pity Alabama.
Mm,
you know pity anybody.
Father, listen to John Abba. They kindly
mm.
advise.
You have to allow that to
Alaba
raise
showed
money. We
grace,
say
so I have to
money
give it to Alaba.
answered
Sorry,
all
Jonaba,
things.
what were you saying?
When the platform have such, I don't think anybody take anything to a heart. I once in a while that to raise some money. If that's the way to raise money, it's fine. You know,
I think that was just a play now.
No, John
yes,
Abba, what
it's
I'm
a
saying is
play.
that
It's not
let,
something that
Jagun
anybody
wasn't
can
what
joking,
I'm
no.
saying is
Jagun
that
wasn't
let it
joking.
not be.
It's not joking,
Let it
and
not be
it's
vindictive.
not polite enough. And somebody, sometimes we all learn through what we go through in life and see life from another way. If a game that we come once in a while, it's okay to raise money like that. If this is a $2, $1 that you can raise here, is that what you're gonna make
Especially,
you guys go?
can we do it this way? If panelists are getting unnecessarily aggressive, let people
Yes,
donate money and keep it up.
exactly. And Kenne will not be here because he's very aggressive all the time
No
anyway.
problem. No problem. I have sponsors.
I
They will
have
donate
more
more
than
to
you.
keep me.
Trust me. I have more
Mm.
sponsor here more than you.
Elon
It
Musk,
will be a game of
Elon Musk will bail Ekene out.
Exactly. Don't worry. I'll go and collect my.
Rich people
I'm
don't
changing
deal with
my state of residence now to Pennsylvania. I want to collect that 1 million. I need it.
That would be nice. Getting that kind of pay. Let me see what's happening. So I think let's try to round up for the day, and so that
So
we
you
can
don't
have.
want to talk about find out whether the general died?
Okay. I will. Okay, while you guys have your conversation, let me research it. Then, if I find it,
Forefathers,
then I'll
I'm
tell you.
really even surprised that that issue did not even interest you. That's security. The
Um,
president and the vice president, they're
because
outside.
I guess I've been talking about it for such a
No,
long
but the
time.
president is back now. The
Oh, he's
president is
back.
back. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Let
I
me
saw,
check.
I
Let me
The
saw, I
check.
saw a
president
picture.
Let
can
me
rule.
check.
The president can rule Nigeria from anywhere.
Doesn't it also
He
interest
has
you?
advisors. He has ministers.
Doesn't it interest you also that you see I if not now, that's the kind of this thing we shouldn't. If we sincerely say we're being honest, how can you say the president and his vice leave say has minister? Is that how other countries run?
Uh-uh.
Why is Nigeria to always different? that the president will leave, the vice president will leave. I say he has ministers to run the
Of course, he
country.
has ministers now, and he has a special
Is that
advisor.
how other countries
I will
operate?
tell him what. Eh?
Is that how other countries
And the
operate?
Senate president is there too.
Is that how other countries operate? How
It's
many
a
times have I
disgrace.
This is
taken over
Nigeria, not other countries. We are talking about giant of Africa. You hear yourself, KJ.
And that's another thing though. KJ show already didn't pick up on the question when John this thing Dr. Damages asked him that is it okay for the both of them to just go to this country? And she was say if it's not safe, and Dr. Damages also highlighted that is it not a security risk? The show already said if it wasn't safe, they wouldn't go. That is not the point. The point is they are leaving the country, going to a more powerful country to go and
See,
stay.
I don't think he understood the question, and
He
Rudolph
didn't.
didn't
He
ask
didn't
it
get
well.
it.
what I noticed, I think he's suffering from jet lag. Jet lag.
And they are denying that he didn't die. You know, Nigerians have started again now. Before they start calling that the person that returned is Jibril, not our real. This
You know, I
comes
think
back. You know.
the chief of army staff, I think somebody threw a bait at them and said, because they showed him, they did an interview with him on his sick bed that they played or showed on social media. So when this news broke today, this person has come out to ask them to say he dares them to do another interview, telling Nigerians that the man has not passed on. But I mean, we don't know. You know, like, I don't. Sometimes I do, and these are the things about
But why
our
would they
country.
lie about?
I don't understand. Our country is never straightforward. You understand? Somebody will tell us that he has the names of people who are sponsoring terrorism. Okay, why are you coming to give us the names of the people, or give it to the secret? They will say, "I have the names. I have the names." Until tomorrow, nothing will happen. You know. So I don't know what is special about when the chief of the Secretary of Defense of the U.S. last year, I think it was last year, went for a surgery. It caused a lot of problems. Those who live in America, they know what I'm talking about. The Senate took it up and said, "How can the Secretary of Defense go for surgery?" And in the period he was in surgery, nobody knew about it. The man came out to apologize.
In fact, Chim, he almost lost his job for
Yeah,
that.
I know. I was following it.
3
The guy
days.
almost lost his job for that.
3 days. Only 3 days. Where he was, known to the whole people, was in water race. Everybody knew where he was. But the mere fact that it was not officially communicated, they were so frightened that just in case something happened at that time,
Yeah.
who will take decisions? So this is just secretary of, not even the president, the secretary of defense. And then you say the two of them pack themselves and go somewhere, and they, Nigeria say Nigeria is running. You obviously can see this.
This is giant of Africa.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Nigeria is such an important nation. It's almost like a hope for about 1.4 billion people around the world. The reason why that is because Nigeria is the only collection of black people at such large numbers. We are not fortunate enough to collect ourselves in big nations, and hence why it's so important. And sometimes I feel like our leaders don't even understand that. They just behave anyhow and they go anywhere they like, and the rest of the 1.2 billion just goes along with them, and all the non. Because who else is going to fight our cause if Nigeria cannot fight the cause of black people? Who else? Cameroon, Ghana, Benin Republic, they are not there. South Africa, no hope. Nigeria is the only country out there. If Nigeria doesn't succeed, then we are at the mercy of every other people. That's how simple it is.
My brother, I don't know. So, well, we'll wait until tomorrow and see whether they would change the narrative and say that, oh,
A bit
yes, he has
messed up.
passed on.
Yeah, my did you hear anything I said? Because this thing is a bit weird from here.
I heard you.
Okay, perfect. So is there anything else we want to talk about, or we just round off for the week and wish everybody have a great week till we gather up again? All right, that's where we'll go. Gentlemen, Chim, I really appreciate you. You stayed very long today. Unusually, for the last month, you have not been here.
I've been working to get money to take care of myself now. So what can I do?
That bed. That bed. Hey, I've been looking at it. I didn't want to say anything. No
You,
wonder
you,
you are
you can see how soft the bed is when it's slapping, the whole place is shaking. So you
tell
can
you.
see
Goldie,
our king's
the
bed.
bed of kings.
Yes, so
Nah, so
And if not now, thank you. I appreciate you for coming in. And Alaba, you surprised me. Oh, you surprised me sometimes, Alaba. The way you took what happened today, that is another side I never saw of you. Sometimes you don't know people. People have their good sides. You never know. Eh? So nice one, Alaba. Thank you
na
for
lie na
joining
because
us.
the pikin dey disturb am. We go take care of family.
They do have their good sides. I really am impressed by the way he took it because Jagon didn't. Jagon didn't take it that way at all. KJ, man, KJ, I think you instigated part of this. KJ was just rejoicing. He instigated. He was cheering it on. Let's them keep setting money in. So you were instigating it too. So thank you for did today. I really appreciate it. It was quite fun. It became a bit of a fun listening session, even if we are having serious conversations. Ed, I really appreciate you too for joining us today. Thank you for joining us. And I did say that I was going to be taking the names of everybody that has been in so that I can remember to thank all of them for coming in, but I have not done that. So next time, maybe I'll be doing that. Thank you all the people that have come to the panel to this thing contribute. Jeremy, Jefferson, at least I can remember him. Chope O, Quinty A, I see you there in the Child Lighthouse. Chope O, man, you really did do jargon. Jesus Christ, it was a battle between two of them. Thank you for joining us today. AB, thank you for joining us. A for real. And everyone, I hope you all have a great week ahead. And we've all enriched each other here today. And that Pidgin English, we should have done that. Next week, we are going to do Pidgin English, this in, so
Father,
that
just try to speak Pidgin English. I really want to know how it will sound in your mouth. Just try. Finish the program with Pidgin English.
Okay. Now that you push me, I will try. I will try because I want to learn. I'm still trying to get it back.
Father,
Thank you for
learning to
coming
speak
in.
Pidgin English.
I see you there, Craig. Craig Gregors. I see you, Hybrid 10, and I
I see
thank
you
you
know
for
the pidgin
coming
English,
into
your
the room.
bros.
You see, that's why now I did try my best here, and I will try to put it the way I can. Oh my God, it's not easy. I will try my best. I see you, Hybrid 10. I thank you for joining us today. I have to prime myself for this to properly work. Lighthouse, I give up. I give up. Next Saturday I will try again. All that politics. Thank you for joining us. Chris Kane, I see you there. All of you, I really appreciate you all for joining us today. And yeah. Yen Yadi, I see you there. I speak the truth. All of you, you guys have really made a good day for me today, and to all the people that are here. And Jagon, if you are listening, I really appreciate your listening contributions from yesterday to today, and the live probably missed your presence today. So, and do not take the stuff that happened today to heart. It's just as they say, one of those things. And because of what you did, $200 to $300 was this thing donated today. So it's all for the benefit of the channel, and I'm sure you also want to do the right thing by us. So I'm sure you will be magnanimous. It just things are hot at the time. Contributed to today, and to Dr. Damages, and the contribution, and Shore for coming in and taking questions, and for the work he has done for Nigerians, because a lot of Nigerians hold him dearly, whether you agree with him or not. People really appreciate him. The ones that really appreciate him a lot. The ones that have issues with him, even the ones that have issues with him, still appreciate him. They just have disagreement with him. I appreciate you all. Thank you for coming in. Now play us out with the national anthem of our country, the one that the Nigerian wrote. It's only fair. A Nigerian wrote it. We are here for Nigerians and we're here for our people. Thank you very much. Till next week. Bye.
Shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria, God obey. To serve our